Here we're back on the record in the case of People v. Catherine Wilkerson, 070136. And Mr. Davis, final argument.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
For the last time, I'm Hugh Davis, and I speak for Catherine Wilkerson. And I might speak for a while, because when I sit down, no voice will again be raised on her behalf. Ms. Conner can address you again. But I have to say what I have to say now. And considering the importance of this case, I intend to kill a fly with a hammer, and I intend to leave no part of the prosecution uncommented on. It's traditional at this point to thank juries for the time that they've devoted to the case, and I do. Thank you. But it is such a unique function of citizenship to sit in judgment on a fellow citizen and forever alter their status, be it their freedom, be it their record, their reputation. And it is such an important task that I don't believe that you can feel put upon or offended. And particularly not in a case like this one, where the issues are so fundamental and the questions are so compelling. It is rare that a case like this comes along, and you're lucky to have had an opportunity to sit on it, to listen to these interesting facts and interesting witnesses, and to have a judge who controls the proceedings as fairly as Judge Hines does. But whether or not it has cut into your life, your study time, preparation for the holidays, your work time, don't hurry. We didn't pick you to go along to get along. Once this is over, whatever it takes to go through the 19 witnesses, however many exhibits, and all of the contradictory facts, which I suggest have not been fairly presented to you, take that time. Because when you leave, somebody's life will never be the same. And therefore, I would thank you in advance for the utmost attention to deliberation. And it wouldn't make any difference if you knew me, or knew Catherine Wilkerson, or knew any of the witnesses, or any of the officers. Because once you take that oath to fairly try this case, fear, favor, concern really mean nothing. And therefore, the decision that you make has to be complete and unfettered and uninfluenced. What is this case about? Ms. Conner has one word for it: confrontation. That's what she said this case is about, confrontation. As if confrontation were a crime. No. This case is about the criminalization of protest and free speech. And this case is about the criminalization of a member of the medical community to attempt to render assistance, even under circumstances where she believes another medical professional is not rendering effective assistance. And if we lose either of those principles by virtue of the decision in this case, then our community and our Constitution will be set back immeasurably. If there has been another prosecution in the history of this country of a medical professional for attempting to render professional aid, assistance, and advice, I am unaware of it. And that's the reason that Dr. Brian Bledsoe, who literally wrote the book, volunteered to come here and to testify about what is required of a person in Dr. Wilkerson's position and what the protocols are for paramedics that he writes the book on how to train, and what the dangers are of positional asphyxia and handcuff neuropathy and head injuries and pneumonia and unconsciousness. And interestingly enough, her protest, her thoughtful, courageous protest, has changed things. HVA took the ammonia off the ambulances. And they did it within a month or two, or by the time Bo left, which was around June, despite Ms. Connor's assertion that it was done October 24th, 2007. I don't know where it came from. It's all right if she's got a piece of paper. The fact is that the testimony you heard was that as a result of her in this case, it was taken off, and they began the process within 1 or 2 months. That's what the med techs, Jacobs, Lloyd, and Bo said. And in my view, that fact alone should raise a reasonable doubt in your mind about whether or not she was conscientiously trying to help a person in medical distress, and not only that, was right and giving the right advice. But we'll get to that. The next question is, what isn't this case about? It's not about Blaine Coleman.